Hello, my name is Tom Thee, and welcome to the Virginia Bakery Remembered Baking Series. This is the donut segment, actually the yeast donut segment. Okay, we're going to start with our yellow dough. You could watch the video or got the recipe out of the book. I'm doing a double batch here, so I'm going to make 12 donuts all together. First of all, you need to divide your dough into 12 equal parts. Okay, now the donuts involve quite a lot of proofing. I'm going to even these up just a little bit. Okay. So, going to need a well-floured pan. Now, the first thing you're going to do is just roll these into little balls. Okay, rolling the dough, you kind of press it down with the middle of your palm. Your knuckles are curled under. They're not, your fingernails aren't actually touching the table. And you'll feel that dough start to tighten up in your hand. First it kind of slides. There it goes. And you'll feel it get nice and smooth. And voila. Now if you can't do it that way, don't want to do it that way, there's an easier way. Maybe faster for some people. There you go. Okay, we have our donuts lined on a pan. We're going to let these proof for about 20 minutes until they double in size, and then we're going to put the holes in them. Okay, while we're waiting for the donuts to proof, we're going to make the donut glaze really good. You got your quarter cup of water, tablespoon of corn syrup, teaspoon of shortening. Microwave this until it's boiling. Shouldn't take very long. Then you're going to add your powdered sugar, 1.5 cups, and a quarter teaspoon of vanilla, and that's simply the donut glaze. Now, when you finish these yeast donuts, there are several different ways you can do them. You can just powder sugar them. You can roll them in cinnamon sugar. You can dip and glaze them. You can also dip them in chocolate. Do the same thing. Okay, that was 1.5 minutes on high. Everything's pretty well dissolved in here. Shortening it a little bit. Give it a quick stir. Dump in your powdered sugar. All of it. Seems like a lot of powdered sugar, but watch, it's gonna dissolve. It's like a very thin roll ice. Okay. And to that, we're gonna add our quarter teaspoon of vanilla. Voila. It almost looks like a syrup. That's it, the donut glaze. Check these others real quick. They're almost proofed and ready to go for the second punch. The donut pieces have proofed up a little bit, and we're going to put the holes in the donut. A lot of places you'll hear hand-cut donuts. We didn't hand-cut our donuts. All you do is you take it, punch a hole in the center with your thumbs, and turn the dough in, and make a ring. So that's why you hardly ever found donut holes at Virginia Bakery. Now, these will need to go through a second proof, and while they're doing that, we'll show you how to set up the fry station. It's really quite easy. Oh, a word about frying donuts. Always make sure that you have a fire extinguisher available. Actually, anytime you bake, you should make sure you have a fire extinguisher available. But especially with open grease, you never know. Never in my entire life had a serious grease fire at the bakery. Okay, that's it, our dozen donuts. Now we're going to cover them back up, put them back in the proof box, and give them about another 20 minutes. They should be ready to fry. The donuts are proofed, they're ready to fry. I've started the grease to heat here. Notice that I've got the handle of the pan turned around back so it won't catch on anything as I go by. This is the donut station. You're going to take your donuts, you're going to fry them, you're going to cool them on a rack for a bit, then you're going to dip them or sugar them and put them back on the rack to dry. Now there's a couple pieces of equipment that you should have when you do donut frying. First and foremost is the fire extinguisher. Don't forget your cup of coffee. You're going to need a thermometer to tell how hot this grease is. You want it to be around 360, 365 degrees when those donuts go in. or 223, so we're a ways off. This is a really nifty gadget my daughter got me for Christmas. Just an electronic thermometer. You just aim, shoot, tells you what it is. Or you can use the old-fashioned chef ones. Just take it, insert it in there, and hold this in your fat. Make sure it doesn't touch the bottom of the pan, or you will get an accurate reading. Amazingly enough, it says the same thing. Okay. In order to work with the donuts, you're going to need something to turn them with. At the bakery, we had donut sticks. They were just wooden sticks like this, and we just flip them. You can use wooden spoons at home. You can use a grease strainer, which is what I'm going to use to lift them out. I don't recommend that you use tongs. Tongs and hot dough do not go well together. Okay, after the donuts have cooled slightly, we're going to dip them into glaze. Turn it back over, let the glaze run off. If the ones that we don't glaze, we're going to let cool a little bit longer, and then we're going to dip in powdered sugar. Okay, our grease is 364, perfect temperature. We're ready to fry. Okay, I'm only going to do 6 at a time. You want to use a sufficient amount of oil so that you don't lose a whole lot of heat when frying these. I always start with the flour side down. Don't know why, it's just the way they taught me to do it. Okay, look at those poofing up real nice. $335. See, your temperature drops considerably when you put those donuts in there. The more oil you have, the less heat loss you're going to have, obviously. The fryer that we had at the bakery was as big as this range is here, and it held about 150 pounds of fat, so those donuts didn't really stand a chance. The donuts are browned nicely on one side. I'm going to use my wooden sticks now to flip them over. You press down on one side, get under the other, and just simply roll it over. Oh, look how nice and brown those are. No trick here. Biggest thing is not to splash grease outside the pan. Take your time, do it slow. Give those about another 3 to 4 minutes, and we're going to pull them out, and they'll be ready. Donuts are done. Time to take them out of the pan. I used to just take them out with a stick, put them down on the hole. If you have trouble with that, you can use the donut or the strainer as well. Just get them out of the grease. That's the important thing. Alright, those are cool. We'll start the next 6. You can give this pan time to recuperate. I don't think it's going to need it. It's pretty hot. Yeah, it's quite hot. Let's get these in there. Whew. Alright. Time to glaze our donuts. Give it glaze a little stir. You want to glaze these while they're still hot, but you don't want them so hot that the glaze is just going to run right off. Okay. Should be able to hold them in your hand. Here we go. Face down in the glaze. Oh boy, does that look good. Okay, the second set is done. Nice and golden brown. I'm going to save 3 of these to dip into powdered sugar, but I got to let them cool just a little bit. If you put them in when they're hot, the sugar just kind of melts right off. Make sure you turn your grease off when you're done. Okay, these last 3 donuts are cooled enough. I'm going to go ahead and roll them around in the powdered sugar. Now today we just made glazed, and not powdered sugar, cinnamon sugar, I'm sorry. Roll these around in the cinnamon sugar. These can also be dusted with powdered sugar if you prefer, or some people like them dipped in a thin chocolate ganache. Those are the donuts.